All right, everybody at the webinar room filling up here. Hey, everybody, my name is Jefferson Santos, International Marketing Director with World Ventures. Welcome to the webinar. We're excited to be able to share some great information with you. The topic of today's webinar is stop selling and start interviewing. I know a lot of you are wondering, how do you talk to people? How do you build relationships? How do you create that eager want in someone to want to give you their phone number, or to want to do business with you, to want to hear about what you're doing? And it's really, really important. This is a skill. This is an art. This is something that you can learn. I didn't know this when I first got started. So that's crazy. So the webinar room's filling up there. Let's go ahead and get started here, guys. And everybody else is going to have to just catch up when we get going here. So my name is Jefferson Santos. Prior to getting started, World Ventures, little background on myself here. Grew up in the Dallas, Texas area in the U.S., and for those of you that are listening internationally. And went to the U.S. Naval Academy, played football there, also played football at Texas Christian University. So my background's always been around teamwork, and I've always wanted to be successful as a young boy, and I just didn't know how to do it. And I was introduced to this industry of word-of-mouth marketing about 15 years ago. But my first 7 or 8 years, I didn't have a lot of success. But just recently, within the last 7 years, I've had a ton of success. And this is one of the major things that I had to learn, and I really had to understand about this business, is about talking to people and really listening to them and everything like that. But what's happened for me at World Ventures, I got started at the beginning, shared this with about 260 people over the last at this point, 5.5, almost 6 years now. And now this is our income disclosure statement. I'm an international marketing director. I've been an international marketing director now for 5 years. So it feels 10 times better than what you think it might be, because what's great is that there's time freedom and there's money freedom. And my fiance and I will be able to go on a lot of different trips. Here's my 7 Series car with a car bonus. Company pays for that. Company pays for the house that we live in Texas. And then there's me and my fiance there. And so, guys, I'm not just sharing that we try to impress you. I'm just letting you know that this compensation plan works. And if you go out and talk to people, and you talk to people, and you talk to people, eventually, the numbers are going to relent to you, and they're going to see the opportunity. They're going to get involved, or at least they're going to buy the product and tell some other people about it. And so I'm here today. So real quick, I want to share a couple of administrative things before we get in today's topic. But I want to give a gift to you. If you stay for the entire webinar, which shouldn't be too long, I don't know how long it's going to be. It could be 30, 40 minutes. I'm not sure. I want to give you, this is an article, a 40-page article that was in the Wall Street Journal just a few months ago, talking about why it's the prime time for direct sales network marketing. It's an incredible 40-page booklet with all kinds of articles, validating our industry. This is huge. And I'm going to give you the downloadable version of this at the end of this webinar. Okay, so just stay tuned, and there'll be a button that will appear at the bottom of the screen there, right below the screen, and you'll be able to click on it and download the PDF document, which is pretty exciting. It's a little gift for you there. But a couple of quick administrative things that I want to share with you real quick. Actually, I think I have my slides out of control here, but you know what? Let me go ahead and just talk about this. I want to really get you tuned in to what's happening out there, because you need to know what your prospect's going through. Okay. Now I've got a few funny cartoon clips that I got from Mr. Wayne Nugent. We were talking about how do you sell in a down economy? Well, the economy is pretty much down all across the world. People are looking for things to do. They're looking for ways to make money. They want to have freedom. It's not just in the U.S. It's everywhere around the world. But here's a quick cartoon clip from the U.S. It says somebody's looking at the economy there. He's following it all the way to the toilet. That's kind of funny there. That's where the economy's going. I took a picture of this at the airport. A magazine called The Economist. It's time for a double dip. And a lot of people are kind of concerned with the stock market taking another dive from what it did a few years back. Here's a funny one. I can't find a job. Can I write off the cost of my education as a tax loss? I mean, there's people looking for jobs, right? I mean, they get a college degree, but a college degree doesn't guarantee anything. Here's another one from The Economist. Took a picture of this as well. The quest for jobs. I mean, people are looking for work. But they don't realize they can get into something like this and not have to worry about a job if they're bringing in enough money. Here's another one, August 21st, that I took a picture of. For many graduates, job hunt hits a dead end. A lot of people that are graduating college are not finding jobs. College is not the answer. A degree is not the answer. You have to find something that you can bring value to, or that you can bring value to. Here's something that said, can I move back in with you until I find a job? This is obviously a son talking to his dad. He said, that's funny. I just asked your grandparents the same question. We've got 3 generations. We got sons, fathers, and grandparents all living in the same households in a lot of different places, not by choice, but by having to do this because of the economy and saving money and people not having a place to stay and things like that. Here's another one. Move back home. Kids today are so lazy and irresponsible. Your mother and I just started out with nothing. He goes, trust me, I would love to start out with nothing. But you can see there he's starting out with 5 figures of student loan debt. I mean, we've got people spending, $50, $60, $70,000 per year for college. And once again, when you graduate college, there's no guarantees to that. Here's another one. The bad news is the dollar is down. The good news is that nobody seems to have any. It's like people are, even though it's a serious thing, it's kind of a funny thing too to see some of these cartoon clips. I mean, this is a crazy one. We're like the first generation that's actually going to pass down debt to the next generation. I mean, this is like a father and his kids. Someday this will all be yours, just passing that debt down. I mean, that's just a scary thing. And so sometimes the best defense is a good offense. So I want you just to the reason why I showed you that is I want you to understand that this is where people's heads are at right now. They're worried about debt. They're worried about, they don't have a lot of time. They don't have a lot of money. So then they're looking at us going, well, why do you want my time and why do you want my money? And so I want you to understand that we're not going around to people asking for more time and more money. We're trying to help them make more money. We're trying to help them have more time and more freedom. And I want you to get that, I want you to understand that, okay? And so a couple quick things before we launch into the training here, guys. Our Called to Succeed team website. If you haven't seen this website before, it's calledtosucceed.com. Go there, register for a newsletter. There's a lot of great fast start videos and training videos and all this kind of stuff. When we are recording this webinar, so we'll repost the recording of this on the team site at some point in the next week. So teammates that join after this can obviously watch this and get trained on how to talk to people and build relationships. Also, go to facebook.com/call-to-succeed and like the page, and because we always post team calls and different information on there. That's really important to stay connected with the team. That's Called to Succeed. That's facebook.com/call-to-succeed. All right, so the topic, stop selling and start interviewing. And here's what I'm assuming right now, guys. I'm assuming that you know why you're doing this. I really don't have the time right now to get into, what's your why. Hopefully you understand that you got a burning desire. You want freedom for your family. You want freedom for your parents and your kids. And there's something that's burning inside of you that you're wanting to make this successful. You want to be successful, whatever your definition of success is. Okay, so I'm going to get into some nuts and bolts today. Okay, and once again, like I said earlier, this is a skill that I'm telling you can literally change your life. You can use this skill that I'm going to teach you, not only with the people that you work with at your job, but obviously your team in World Ventures and people that you're just meeting out there, and obviously prospecting and things like that. Now, this is a prospecting training, not an inviting training. So I'm not going to talk about the 2-step text invite. I'm not going to talk about the 4-step invite. I'm not going to talk about one-liners of how to invite somebody. I'm going to talk about how to build rapport with somebody. How do you just initially start a conversation? How do you get them to like you? How do you get them to trust you? People only buy from you if they know, like, and trust you, right? Okay, so people, okay, think about this for a second. Who's got money? People have the money, right? And so the thing is you need to learn how to build rapport with people. Who do you build the business with? People. Who do you give birth to? People. Who do you marry? You marry people. So, you don't marry robots. You don't work with robots. You work with people. So what's really important here, guys, is to understand people and understand that people are self-centered. We're all self-centered. We all love ourselves, right? And so to get someone to like you, don't try to be interesting, be interested in them. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Don't try to be interesting, but be interested in your prospect. Be interested in them. Be genuinely interested in them, in their life, and their needs, and what's going on with them. Okay, but it's difficult for us because we're so wired to be self-centered. I mean, I'm just telling you that so we understand that. So how do we get somebody to like us? Well, here's the thing. It's very, very simple. Get them to talk more about themselves than you talk about yourself. Okay, get them to talk about themselves. I mean, Toby Keith has a song called, I want to talk about me. I want to talk about I. I mean, it's talking about how people are self-centered. I mean, that's right. That's the deal. So knowing that, people buy people that they know, like, and trust. How do you get someone to like you? You let them talk about themselves. This could be somebody you just met at Starbucks. This could be one of your friends from high school a long, long time ago you haven't talked to in 7 years or 15 years or 20 years, whatever, and you want to start a conversation. Ask questions about them. And I'm going to get into how you ask those questions and what you talk about and stuff. But the key thing, guys, is I would say almost 100% of the time you want them talking, because the more they talk, the more they like you. Okay, ladies, women that are watching this webinar right now. I mean, if you're out, at a party or a bar or wherever you're at, and some guy walks up to you and says, "Hey, let me tell you about my resume," and all starts going all the way bullet pointing his resume. I mean, does that make you interested in him? Of course not. I mean, that's like, that kind of repels you away, right? Him away from you, right? And so that's what we're doing when we're out there prospecting people and starting conversations with people, is we're trying to, sell. This is the title of this training here, is Stop Selling and Start Interviewing. Okay, you want to flip the tables. I mean, think about this for a second. Okay, now, by the way, I'm still on the slide where it says "I love me." I'm still on that slide, just in case you think your computer's behind or lagging or whatever. We're still on that slide. Okay, so think about this for a second. I just lost my train of thought. I just lost my train of thought for that. Okay, bear with me here, guys. I'm just trying to think about. Let me see if there's another slide that'll help me remember. Hold on one second. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next slide here. All right, so now, okay, so let's talk about the people that we know. Okay, there's 3 types of markets out there. There's your warm market, people that you know; lukewarm market, people that you've met but you really don't know them. You might know them by face. You met them at a networking function, or maybe they're just somebody you see every once in a while, every couple months at work, around the office or something. And then there's the cold market, obviously the people that you don't know. Okay, now so here's what I'm getting at here, guys. I'm going to teach you kind of what questions to ask, how to start building rapport with people. See, when you can build rapport with somebody and you're in rapport with them, then you can do the invite. Then you can just ask them to have a cup of coffee with you. Then you can get them to have lunch with you, and then at that lunch is when you show them the presentation. But once again, we're talking about just how to build rapport with somebody, how to get them to like you. This is the huge skill that we're talking about right now. All right, so with your warm market, when I'm talking about warm market, these are people that you talk to literally on a daily or a weekly basis. Okay, and so you don't really have to get back in rapport with them. Okay, you kind of already know their hot buttons. You know what gets them excited. You know that type of stuff. And so so this is more for the lukewarm market and the cold market, or somebody that I guess you can call them lukewarm market, people that you just you haven't talked to in several months or several years. And so how do you get back in relationship with them? Okay, and then on the cold market, that's just somebody you meet at Starbucks, somebody you meet at the mall, or somebody that works at the dry cleaning place or whatever. But what I'm talking about here is this: we all know probably 1,000 or 2,000 people. Okay, and so when we teach you to make your list, usually you make a list of about 200 total or whatever. If you had a funeral, about 250 people are going to show up on your funeral. About 30% or 50% will show up if it's raining, right? So, or 250 at your wedding, or 100 at your wedding, or whatever. So those types of people, those are your warm market. Now, what I'm saying is, as you go through those people, as you talk to those people, some people are going to do it, some people are not. How can you continually add people to that list where it's a living list? Okay, and so if you do this business right, you'll never run out of your warm market. You'll never run out. But for some reason, some of you are watching this right now, and maybe you've done a few programs in the past, and you're just looking for some fresh people, okay, to talk to. And because the only reason why I go cold market is to go warm. Okay, why would I meet somebody at Starbucks? Well, if I think they're sharp and they can be a great person in World Ventures, why wouldn't I talk to them, right? I'm sure you've met sharp people on the airplane, at the airport, while you're traveling, at the grocery store. Maybe you see the same person at the checkout counter all the time, whatever. So here's what I'm talking about. What do you say to those people to build a relationship with them, to have them want to give you their phone number? This is what I'm talking about. I'm really trying to really segment this training right here. This isn't like an all-encompassing prospecting, inviting training. This is specifically how to build rapport with people, and then how to create a message that allows them to say, hey, listen, man, yeah, I want you to call me. I want to meet with you. I want to hear what you've got. This is what we're talking about here, okay? All right, so let's talk about the interview. And by the way, I just remember this, okay? So when you're going on an interview, let's say to a job, okay, what are you doing? You're all dressed up, you got your best stuff on, and you're sitting there, and the interviewer is asking questions, and the person that's asking questions is in control. Okay, so we're flipping the tables here, guys. We're not selling, we're interviewing. Okay, because we're interviewing people to whether or not if this person is a qualified prospect for us to work with. See, everybody's a suspect until they're a prospect. Okay, so you've got to interview them, all right? So what's really important, especially working with people, is you've got to smile. Smile is a powerful weapon. You can even break ice with it, right? I mean, think about this. When you smile, you're approachable. When you smile at somebody, that means you accept them. They sense that you accept them, that you like them by you just smiling. Okay, and that makes them feel better. It disarms everything when you smile at somebody. But think about the opposite. What if you frowned at somebody? Okay, just imagine yourself frowning. Imagine you walking through the airport. You know how a bunch of people are kind of frowning because they're just trying to get to the next flight, or they got a business trip or whatever. Not the people on vacation. I'm just talking about the business trip people. They're just kind of frowning, right? So just imagine, they're not really approachable, are they? I mean, you've seen people that they kind of have a straight face and they're looking at the ground and they're just kind of frowning. Yeah, they're not approachable. You want to be that approachable person, okay? And so you always smile. That's a key thing, okay? And so their interview is this. This is an acronym that you have to understand. Okay, so FORM, F-O-R-M. F stands for family and friend, or make a friend first. O stands for occupation and recreation and message. And so I'm going to move you through these four things here. Then I'm going to kind of go over an example. Okay, what I'm doing right now is I'm giving you an anatomy of the conversation. Now, women are better at this than guys. Okay, when two guys, we could sit down and watch a football or a soccer game together for 3 hours, and we might not even remember each other's names. But two women go to the bathroom for 5 minutes, they know everything about each other, kids' names, where they went to school, all that kind of stuff. Within 5 minutes, they become fast friends. I mean, women are more relational than men are, okay? And so what I'm doing is, a lot of the women that are watching this webinar, you guys already know what I'm talking about. I'm giving you the anatomy of how the conversation can go. And for guys, yeah, we know how to do this too, but I'm just saying that women are just kind of wired that way, more relational. So this is the bullet points here. Okay, and so family or friends. So when you meet somebody, or you're talking to one of your friends you haven't talked to in 10 years, you're kind of asking them, hey, how's the family going? And you're trying to you're working on the friendship first. You're finding out about their family. You even want to ask them, if you don't know this person, hey, where are you from? Like if you meet somebody on the airplane and they're sitting next to you, and you both heading to Chicago, you say, hey, are you from Chicago, or is that home, or was that on business? Oh, no, I'm going back home, and so I live back in Chicago. Just kind of start building some bridges here, right? O is occupation. So hey, what do you do for a living? Get them to start talking about themselves. Recreation. What do you do outside of work? That's recreation. Okay, and message is the message that you form with all the clues that you listened to and heard in the conversation. I'm going to break this down for you here in just a second. So here's the thing. So when you're interviewing somebody, you're forming them. Okay. So when you're interviewing them, you're listening for clues. That's a little picture of Sherlock Holmes there, right? You're listening for clues, because the thing is that if you know what clues are their hot buttons or what they need, then all you're doing is seeing how World Ventures can fit and help them with their need. Make sense? Okay, so here's what you're listening for. You're listening for signs: their strengths, their interests, their goals, and their needs. Strengths, interests, goals, and needs, okay? So here's the thing. If I want to know what somebody's strength is, if I'm asking them, remember on the form FO, okay, occupation, if I'm talking to them about their job, I'm going to say, hey, what do you like about your job? They're going to reveal a strength. Okay, so somebody in the service industry, they're a bartender, a waiter, or waitress, or something. Usually, almost 100% of the people I talk to, they say, I love the people. I love just, hanging out with the people and meeting new people all the time, and the people are interesting. That's their strength. Their strength is people, and they've got pretty good people skills. Okay. And then when I ask, well, what do you not like about your job? What do you dislike about your job? They're going to reveal their needs. Okay, they might say something like, man, I'm working more and more, but I'm getting paid less and less. I'm standing on my feet for 8 hours a day, and I just don't think they pay me enough for that. I don't get a chance to see my kids enough. I got to pay for my kids to go for my kids' college. I'm just not making enough money at my job for this. Something like that is going to reveal some needs. Okay, and then when you ask them about their recreation, what they like to do outside of work, they're going to reveal their interest and goals. Okay, that they like to go camping, they like to paint, they like to travel, they like to do all these different things. Okay, so that's going to reveal that. So I'm giving you, so we talk about form. Okay, that's the anatomy of how the conversation goes: family, occupation, recreation, message. Okay, or where they're from or something like that. And then we got sign. Sign are the clues that you're listening for when you're talking to them. Now, this is something that took me a little bit to learn, because the challenge is this: most people are not good listeners, okay? And neither was I when I first got started on this thing. And so there's 3 levels of listening. And I don't have that on the slide. I'm still on the interview clues, sign slide right now. Okay. So, man, I keep on losing my train of thought every time I do that. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Interview, sign, okay, listening. All right, yeah. Okay, so listening, there's 3 levels of listening. Listening level number 1, usually listening level 1 is this: you can't wait for them to stop talking because you're thinking about what you're going to say. And as soon as they stop, you start talking. So you're not really listening to them, you're thinking about what you're going to say next. Okay, so that's level 1 listening. Level 2 listening is actually hearing what they're saying. Okay, level 3 listening is hearing what they're not saying. Okay, is hearing what they're not saying. So you want to try to hover around level 2, level 3 listening. Okay, but amateurs do level 1 listening, and we can't. Now that you know what those 3 are, you can't say I don't know anymore. That's not an excuse. So you got to work on your listening to listen for these needs, listen for these signs. Okay, so here's the thing: after this webinar, what I want you to do. I don't know what time you're watching it in your area, but go out today or the next day or whatever and interview 10 people. Go meet 10 people, or call some friends up you haven't talked to in a while and just form them. Don't talk about World Ventures. Don't ask them anything. I'm about to go through an example right now to show you how to do that. But just go interview 10 people just to get the gist of it, to learn how to listen. Don't worry about what questions you're going to ask. Just listen to them, and the questions will come up next. Okay. And so, all right, so let's talk about the Nordstrom's example. Nordstrom's is a famous department store here in the U.S., got a lot of high-end clothes or whatever, and I shop there a lot. And so I got an example of a girl that worked there. Her name is, what's her name? Rachel, okay? Her name is Rachel. And so I'm just going to kind of give you a little example of kind of how I would talk to Rachel and kind of form her, interview her while she's helping me with shopping for clothes and stuff like that. So let's say I walk into the store and I see Rachel, and usually I go there a lot, so she kind of knows my face. So it's kind of, once again, it's one of those things where I've been there a few times. I don't go out to prospect, I prospect as I go. Okay, I follow my dollar. I go out, wherever my dry cleaning is, or wherever I shop, or whatever. I try to kind of interact with the same people, so then I can build some rapport with them, and then start to interview them, and then eventually prospect them. All right. So let's say I walk in. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? She's, oh, how's it going? Can I help you with? Oh, yeah, sure. I'm looking for a couple shirts, and so do you have any new Robert Graham shirts or whatever? Oh, yeah, doing pretty good. And so she's helped me look for shirts. I'm going to ask her, hey, so where are you from? It's just, oh, I'm from here. I grew up here. Oh, that's cool. So how long have you been working at Nordstrom's? And so obviously I know that she's working at Nordstrom's, right? But if somebody's in retail, don't assume that's their full-time job. A lot of people in retail, that is a part-time job, which means they do other stuff too because they want to make extra money. And so how long have you been at Nordstrom's? Oh, she's like, oh, I've been here for 3 years. Okay, that's cool. So, I mean, what else do you do? Do you need anything else? Oh, yeah, I also play piano, and I'm getting my master's right now in music. Oh, okay, awesome. That's awesome. So how did you get into that? So she's showing me shirts and stuff, and I'm asking her questions about herself. I'm being very genuinely interested in her. I'm being very curious, not in an interrogative, like an interrogative, what am I trying to say here? I'm not interrogating her, like a police officer or some FBI agent. I'm just having a conversation, asking questions, being very interested, being very friendly, and just having a regular conversation, acting like I've known her for tons of time. See, a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. Okay, and how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you treat people like they're the most important person in the world, and you're just having a regular conversation with them, they're going to be like, "Wow, this guy's cool," or "This gal's cool," right? So you just kind of chat with them. So right now we're still on that. We did the F a little bit, ask her where she was from. I moved into the O because we're at her place of work. So we're not FO. So we're doing the form now, right? So occupation. So I'm asking her stuff about her job and what she's been doing and everything. And so then I'm going to ask her, well, what do you like about working here? She's like, oh, I love working with the people, meeting new people, helping them, look good with the clothes, and they walked out feeling good about themselves. And oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. And so that's one of her strengths, right? And then I ask her, so what do you not like about working here? She's like, well, I'm on my feet for a long time. I mean, 6 to 8 hours at a time, and I get my heels on. It just kind of hurts my legs a lot. And obviously, retail doesn't pay a whole lot, but it's great. It kind of helps me with the school and side money and kind of fun money and things like that. So it helps me with that. So, when she's saying things like that, ding, 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 little bells going off in my head, she's like, okay, she works here to make some extra money, but she doesn't like standing on her feet the whole time, and anything like that. And so those reveal some needs. And so then I'm going to move on. And so let's say we're talking about other stuff. I might change the subject over to, so what do you think about this shirt and this shirt? And I ask her questions. And but I'm always knowing to steer that conversation back to, the FORM. That's just kind of a script in your head that you kind of know to follow that so you can gather these clues. So far I know that, I know that she's from Texas and that she's getting her master's right now in music. She likes to play piano, and she's working there retail just for some extra money on the side. She needs more money, and I mean she's a student still. Most students need money, and these days everybody needs money, right? And so these are the things that I've gathered so far. She likes working with people, so that's a strength for her, which is great. Okay. And obviously she loves music. And so then I asked her, well, what do you do outside of work? I mean, what do you do for fun? Oh, I love to travel. Matter of fact, I just got back from Croatia with one of my girlfriends last year. And, obviously love to play music, love to hang out with my friends, love to go to movies. I mean, just, go to do a lot of different things. I like to go out and do stuff. And so when she's saying these things, she said travel. That was one of her first things. Now, what you don't do is immediately go, oh my gosh, I got this travel company. It's this, and it's that, and it's this, and it's that. No, you don't get into what you're doing. You got a poker face. You're smiling, and you're just having a conversation, and whatever she said about travel, just make that mental note in your brain, that you're going to be talking about that later on. But don't bring up that, hey, I've got a travel company, and I can help you travel. Don't even bring into that when you're asking questions. You're just letting her talk about, I'm just letting her talk about herself, and every time she's talking more about herself, I'm becoming her friend. Okay, she genuinely likes me because I'm being genuinely interested in her, not trying to hit on her kind of way, but just having a regular conversation, just a normal conversation that that she probably has with some of her coworkers or whatever. And so then let's say I pick a couple of shirts and I'm ready to check out. And I am at the counter. Okay, she's ringing the register up, and I'm giving her my debit card, credit card, whatever. I'm paying for the shirts and everything. And so we're just, wherever the conversation is, this is something you got to help. You want to be natural with it. You don't want to force anything. You're just trying to go down the FORM. Okay, and so now, I found out the O and the R. Okay, now I'm at the M. Okay, which is message. All right, and so let's get back here. So I'm at the message. So what I want to do is I was listening for signs. The strengths of the sign, the S of the sign was her working with people. Her interests and goals were she wants to teach piano. She wants to do music. She likes to travel. Those are her interests. Like to hang out with people. And so those were the I and the G. And the needs were she wanted more freedom. She wanted more money. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to form a message. Okay, that's the last thing on the screen here. And I'm wrapping the message with her signs. Okay, because here's the key thing. If you're going to go out fishing, and for example, I love cheesecake. Okay, so if I'm going to go fishing and I put cheesecake on the end of a hook and I throw it out in the water, the fish don't like cheesecake, so the fish aren't going to bite on the hook. I'm not going to catch any fish. So don't put what you like on the hook, put what they like on the hook. But how do you know what they like? You have to ask them. You have to ask questions, and you have to listen. That's the key thing here, guys. See, if you can learn how to listen to people, and most people aren't used to being listened to, but if you listen to them, the needs will reveal itself. Just by you watching this webinar, your mind and your ears are now peaked for needs, to listen for needs. Okay, and so once we get this recording of this webinar up on the team website, you can watch this several times to really get the gist of this thing. But the key thing is getting out in the field and practicing this, and just talking to people. Who cares if you get their phone number? Don't even try to get their phone number. Just try to build a bunch of rapport with people so you get good at talking to people and learning how to be genuinely interested in people. Because guys, if you want to build a massive team, if you want to build a massive organization, you have to like people. Okay? If you don't like people, this business is not for you. You got to turn yourself around and start liking people. Okay? All right, so now let's talk about the message. All right, here's a guy named, he's got a famous TV show. We called it, here in the U.S., it's called Columbo. And every time, he would kind of walk away, and then right as he was walking away, he would turn around and say, oh, by the way, and then he would say something, okay? And so that's kind of how you want to form this message here. So, oh, by the way, okay? So so let me share with you how I form this message. How do I get her phone number? How do I get her eagerly wanting to give me her phone number? So here's what I do. All right. So she comes around the counter, she hands me my shirts or whatever, and then I start to walk a couple of steps. I kind of walk away, and all of a sudden I turn around and say, hey, by the way, Rachel, I couldn't help but notice earlier in the conversation you had talked about how you like to travel and you want to obviously finish your master's in music and everything, and that you were working kind of long hours here, but you want to make extra money and stuff. I'm in charge of expansion. I'm in charge of expansion here in the area for an international company, and I don't know if what we have is a fit for you or not. But let's exchange some information, and maybe we can have coffee in the next day or two, or next week. I got to check my schedule. I can't make any promises, but I don't know if what we have is a fit for you or not. But it may be a way that you'll be able to make the extra money and travel more, like you said earlier, but have time obviously to get your degree, but have money coming in while you're getting your degree, and not having to work here at Nordstrom's all the time and be on your feet for 8 hours a day. I mean, how's that sound? Would you like some information on that? Oh yeah, I would like some information on that. And so what happened, then I get her phone number. I pull my cell phone out and I put her cell phone number into my cell phone. Then I text her and say, hey, it was great. On my way out, I text her and say, it was great meeting you. Look forward to chatting with you. I'll check my schedule and see when we can get together. So I'm not saying, hey, let's get together tomorrow. I'm not saying, hey, let's get together in the next couple of days. I really want to say, hey, I got to check my schedule. I'm really busy, but I got to find out, maybe make a couple calls to find out what we have that might be available. But let's get together. Maybe next week, I'm not sure. I'll give you a buzz. And so, see, I just repeated back to her signs, her needs, strengths, interests, goals, and needs. That's what I repeated back to her. And so she's not going to ask me, well, is it one of those pyramid things? Is it one of those things? I mean, she's not asking me any of that stuff. Why? Because I just listened to her and I repeated back to her what she wants. Okay, she wants more money. She wants to travel. She wants to graduate. She wants to get her master's in music, and she doesn't want to stand on her feet for 8 hours a day selling clothes. All right, so immediately when I speak her language, that perks her ears up, and she's very interested. I took the bait that she gave me and just gave it right back to her and put it on the hook, and so she wanted to give me her phone number because I had something that she wanted. I had a way. If you remember, it says it might be a way that, and then I repeated back her signs back to her. Okay, that's how I did that. All right, and so that's how I did the message. So I formed her, right? Interviewed her, listened for the needs. I was listening, and then boom, I was going to repeat back in the form of a message and do that. And so, guys, I want you to remember it's not about you, it's about them. I mean, some of you might be scared to talk to people or whatever. It's not about you. See, if you're on your throne, if you're on the throne, I mean, if you're scared, that means you're on the throne. Okay, get yourself off the throne. It's not about you, it's about them. It's about their life. Remember those slides I showed you earlier about the economy? People are hurt. A lot of people are hurting right now. They need something, but they don't know what it is. It's not a second degree. It's not a third degree at college. It's not a third job. They need something like this, something that's fun, something they can do with their family, something they can do with their friends. and all of that. And so hopefully this webinar really helped you get excited here about talking to people. And so for those of you that are watching this internationally, I'm sure you've already been to the View in Amsterdam. And if you're watching this recording, it might be past the View already. But guys, coming up at the end of October, we've got the View from the Edge, which is an incredible event that I've been to every single year since this company started. So make sure you go to wvview.com. Okay, and watch these videos and watch all the different characters on here and watch the infomercial and look at all the top 10, top 20 income earners talking about the value they got out of this event. All of us are going to be here at this event at the end of October. Okay, all the information's on wvview.com. You can register there. You can look at the schedule, all that kind of stuff, guys. Listen, if you want 2012 to be better than 2011, you have to go to the View. Literally, if you want to grow as a leader and grow as a person, and I'm sure all of us have roadblocks, whatever it is in your personal life, in your relationships, in your business, whatever it is, the View is going to help you bust through those roadblocks. Okay? As a leader, if you want to be a leader, you have to add value to people. How can you add value to people if you're not valuable in the marketplace? This event right here is going to help you be so much more valuable in the marketplace to your prospects and your team. It's not even funny. I mean, we've got businesses exploding after the View, guys. Okay, it's just incredible. All right, so make sure you go to wvview.com and register if you haven't already. All right, and so the button should be appearing down below here any second. If it doesn't appear because of technical reasons, just wait here a couple more seconds, and it's going to kick you over to download the document. Okay, and so guys, other than that, I hope you got what you needed here for the training. And remember, be interested in people. Just interview them. Okay, but my challenge to you is this: go out there and interview 10 people today. Interview 10 people every day, okay? You'll get better and better and better at it. And so now you know what to talk about, okay? When you meet somebody out on the airplane or in a restaurant or whatever, is you go, hey, where are you from? Oh, really? Oh, okay, great. And you tell them where you're from and you start building that rapport. Now you're into the forming process. Okay. Also, one last thing I almost forgot. One of the things I said to Rachel at Nordstrom's, I said, hey, you're a really, really sharp gal. Do you keep your income options open? She's like, yeah. I said, listen, I can't make any promises. I'm actually in charge of expansion for an international company here out of Dallas. And I don't know if what we have is a fit for you or not, but let me get your cell phone number, and then I'll make a couple calls, and then maybe we can get together next week or so. I got to check my schedule, and we might have something for you, we might not, but it might be a way that, and then I'm going to repeat back her signs back to her. And so those are two little things I forgot to say. I pay them a compliment. I say, I mean, you're sharp. You seem real sharp. Do you keep your income options open? When they say yes, say, listen, I don't, as soon as they say yes, say, listen, I'm in charge of expansion for a company, international company here out of Dallas. Or if let's say, if you're talking to somebody in New York, say they're out of Dallas, but I'm a Northeast expansion leader here in the New York area, and our company's out of Dallas. We operate in 20 different countries. I don't know if what we have is a fit for you or not. I got to make a couple calls, but it might be a way that, and then repeat back to them their needs, their signs, all that kind of stuff. But let me get your number, and then we'll get together over the next maybe a week or so. I got to check my schedule though. So, and then just exchange numbers. Say, hey, great meeting you. Take care. God bless. Whatever. And then within about 15 to 20 minutes, I would send them a text saying, hey, we just met. Great to meet you. I'm the person that we talked about. Helping you get out of your job, or whatever how the conversation went. Just kind of remind them a little bit, because people get a lot of text, and obviously they haven't really known you yet, right? So anyways, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day or night. And guys, use this skill, okay? Use this skill to build your business and add people to the pipeline, add people to your list. And this is a way to get back in rapport with people you haven't talked to in a long time, in a way, obviously, to find out what people want so you can help them go get it. Other than that, guys, have a great day.